Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
One of our good friends listening on the Nevada Talk Network, Jed Peeler, adores the show we're going to hear today. Dana Andrews and I Was a Communist for the FBI going back 70 years to September 17th, 1952, The Rat Race. We thank you for tuning in on this Saturday. This is the 17th day of September, 260th day of the year, 105 days remaining until we get to 2023. The city of Boston, founded in 1630. Constitution signed in Philadelphia on this date in 1787. Francis Scott Key finished his Star-Spangled Banner poem. The Wright Flyer, flown by Orville Wright with Lieutenant Thomas Selfridge as passenger, crashed. Selfridge died. He became the very first airplane fatality. It was on this date in 1916 that Manfred von Richthofen, the Red Baron, a flying ace of the German Air Force, won his first aerial combat near Cambrai, France. In 1947, James V. Forrestal sworn in as the first Secretary of Defense. The first space shuttle, Enterprise, unveiled by NASA in 1976. It would never fly into space, interestingly enough. That was one that was used for testing, and it did return to Earth, but it never went into orbit, if you will. The Camp David Accords signed on this date in 1978 by Israel and Egypt. In 1980, after years of strikes at the Lenin shipyard in Gdansk, Poland, the nationwide independent trade union Solidarity was established. Released on this date in 1981, the German war epic Das Boot, the $12 million epic, did nearly $85 million at the box office. On this date in 1983, Miss New York, Vanessa Williams, became the first black Miss America. The first version of the Linux kernel released to the Internet on this date in 1991. America Online, one of the largest internet service providers in the U.S., announced plans to refocus the company as an advertising business on this date in 2007 and relocated its corporate headquarters from Dulles, Virginia to New York, New York. The dial-up business was basically gone by 2007, and broadband, whether it be fairly low speed or extremely high speed, was the way to go. Occupy Wall Street movement began on this date in 2011 in Zuccotti Park in New York City. And in 2016, 2 bombs exploded in Seaside Park, New Jersey, and Manhattan. 31 people injured in the Manhattan bombing on this date in 2016. Among people passing away on this date in history, band leader Hugo Winterhalter. Some great music that came from Hugo Winterhalter. Also, Richard Basehart, you remember him from Voyage Under the Sea. Also, Vice President Spiro Agnew passing away on this date. Actor, comedian, and outstanding painter Red Skelton passing away on this date. Las Vegas casino heir Ted Binion passing away in very suspicious circumstances. Singer-songwriter, guitarist George Hamilton IV. Journalist, best-selling author Cokie Roberts, all those folks passing away on this date, along with one of the best in wrestling that you will ever know. No, I'm not talking about Hulk Hogan. I'm talking about the man, the legend, the brain, the weasel, Bobby Heenan.
Yes, I am a gifted athlete and a wrestler, but I don't particularly care to wrestle, and they know that. The whole thing is between Andre and the Hellbilly and Stutt and Bundy. And just because some goon at 7'4" and 500 pounds and some dumb hick from Mud Lick put their two heads together with an IQ of 10, they want me in the ring. They want to get their hands on Stud. They want to pick up that money for a slam. They want to get rid of Bundy because they're jealous of his size and massiveness. And they want to get rid of me because they're jealous of me. My whole life, everybody's been jealous of me. Everybody's been worried about me my whole life. They've done this to me. They've done this to me.
Bobby Heenan was, in fact, a pretty good pro wrestler. Not great, but whenever you saw him in the ring, he didn't look good. The main reason he didn't is because that was what he was supposed to do. So Bobby Heenan, the man, the myth, the legend, and the sad way that he passed, cancer took him, but it didn't take any organ of his body. It took his jaw. It took his voice. And for those past few years of his life, not being able to speak like he did was a tragedy. Let's get to some birth dates here. Let's start off with radio commentator Gabriel Heater.
Good evening, everyone. My wire is open for any late word Washington may have on the latest Nazi claims. Berlin Radio claims the U-boat sank our aircraft carrier Ranger. Not a word has come out of Washington regarding it up to half a minute ago. It remains an absolutely unconfirmed enemy claim. Germany, you remember, once claimed it sank our aircraft carrier Wasp, and it proved to be a lie. Germany claimed she sank our battleship Maryland off Brazil. It proved to be a British freighter and another Nazi lie. She claimed her U-boat sank an American cruiser off Norway, and that proved to be a lie. The Ranger is a 14,000-ton ship. She's said to normally carry 1,800 men and 80 planes. Hitler may be trying to mar our Easter holiday with some psychological warfare.
Radio commentator Gabriel Heater, born on this date in history. Supreme Court Justice Warren Burger. Hank Williams, Sr., born on this date. Musician Bill Black. English actor Roddy McDowall. Anne Bancroft. John Ritter. And the very funny Jerry Colonna.
Haven't I seen your face someplace else?
No, it's always been right here, between my ears.
You trying to make me look ridiculous?
Oh, I couldn't take all the credit.
Look, mink lip. Why don't you find another creep and get married?
Can you cook?
With Bob Hope, Jerry Colonna, born on this date in history. You remember Elvira, Mistress of the Darkness? Cassandra Peterson from Manhattan, Kansas, 71 years old today. Comedian Rita Rudner, 69. Japanese retired pro wrestler Masahiro Chono is 59. Also from Mad TV and Harold and Kumar, Bobby Lee, 51, and 7-time NASCAR Cup champion Jimmy Johnson, 47 today. Those some of the people who celebrate the 17th day of September as their birthday. And if this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
And from 70 years ago today, September 17th, 1952, Dana Andrews in I Was a Communist for the FBI and the Rat Race. Thank you for spending part of your Saturday with us here. I'm Wyatt Cox, and you're listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our health care. No doubt. This is why so many people are joining Medi-Share right now. Medi-Share is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly health care costs. More than 400,000 people have already made the switch. It's pretty obvious why, too, especially now during this challenging season with health care costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up. Medi-Share can save you a lot of money. The typical family saves $500 a month. And Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that's worked beautifully for 29 years. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second. And if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now is the perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Thank you for joining us on this Saturday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now we go back 70 years, September 17th, 1952. Dana Andrews as Matt Cvetic in I Was a Communist for the FBI.
I was a communist for the FBI.
Starring Dana Andrews in an exciting tale of danger and espionage. I was a communist for the FBI. You are about to hear a strange story. Names, dates, and places are, for obvious reasons, fictional. But many of these incidents are based on the actual experiences of Matt Cvetic, who for 9 fantastic years lived as a communist for the FBI. Here is our star, Dana Andrews, as Matt Cvetic.
Sometimes it's hard to remember you're a decent person when every word you say, everything you do, comes out of communist manuals. For 9 years, I was torn apart inside with hating of the red lies, and yet spouting them every day of the week. Only my knowledge that it had to be done kept me going, as a communist for the FBI.
Now, here is Dana Andrews as Matt Cvetic, Undercover Man. This story from the confidential file is marked The Rat Race.
Detroit, a small, smoky room, a handful of nervous men. It was a communist cell meeting, and like all the others I had attended, it was overcast with the tension of fear. It seemed like it would be a routine meeting. As we stood waiting for our cell leader, Comrade Greco, the pudgy, mustached Gorgi Tamashovna babbled his troubles to me.
So she says to me, comrade, she says, Gorgi, why you got to go to meeting tonight? And I tell her, look, Babka, how did I know your cousin was coming tonight to visit? And cousin or not, Babka, the party with me comes first.
You should bring your wife into the party, too, Comrade Gorgi.
Comrade Matt, no one, not even Comrade Stalin, could bring my wife no place you don't want to go. That Anna, so stubborn like a... Oh.
Comrades?
Good evening, Comrade Greco.
Comrade Cvetic?
Yes, Comrade Greco?
Remain after the meeting. I have something special for you.
Yes, Comrade.
Before we take up the business at hand, Comrade Georgi Tamashovna.
Yes?
Are you aware of the way your wife speaks regarding the party?
Oh, yes, Comrade.
She says too much, Comrade, some of which she has learned from you.
Of course, honest my wife, you know how to...
I know nothing, except you must convert her to the party immediately, or get rid of her.
Yes, Comrade Greco.
Very well. Let's proceed with the meeting.
That was Comrade Greco, a smart young red fanatic rising rapidly in the party due to his ability to ignore the human problems of more simple men like Gorgi Tamashovna. When Greco and I were alone after the meeting, his guard came down a little, and I saw that he was both nervous and excited about something.
You will go immediately to the Hotel Standish. Ask for the key to room 117. It has been reserved for you.
Yes, Comrade.
You ask no questions, that is good. Stay in the room, awake. Make no phone calls, not even to the desk.
I understand, Comrade.
You're a good man to work with.
Blue Star Grill.
Let me speak to the waiter wearing a hat.
Speaking.
This is your customer with a carnation.
All clear here, Matt. Go ahead.
Have to make it fast. I'm in a phone booth and I've got a date.
Where?
Hotel Standish, room 117. Don't know what's up.
We have our own problems tonight, Matt. Grayling Rawson just disappeared. I've got every available man out trying to trace him.
Rawson? Well, if you can spare one, have a man whip over and wire room 117 in the Standish. I have a hunch this is important.
Good enough for me. He'll be there by the time you are. Keep your ears and eyes open for any party rumors about Rawson. We want him at that trial, and we want him bad.
Yes, sir. May I help you?
That's why I rang the bell. You have a reservation for me, room 117.
117?
My name is Cvetic.
Oh, yes, sir. Here you are. The register has already been signed.
Thank you. Oh, wait, this is the wrong key. I asked for 117. You gave me...
655. But it's the right key, comrade.
Oh.
Instructions are that you're to go right up. Front boy.
No matter what the clerk called it, the switch of rooms had me stuck. I was taken to room 655. As soon as the bellhop had left, I started to go down and inform the FBI man of the change. But even as I started to open my door, the phone rang. Hello?
This is the desk clerk, sir. Everything all right?
Certainly. What's the idea?
Sorry, comrade. My orders.
To check on my room?
To make sure you stay in your room. I'll be calling you again.
They hadn't missed a bet. I was in room 655, and that was where I was going to stay. While down in room 117, an FBI man was installing a microphone in vain. There was only one thing for me to do. Wait. It was a long one. Then, at 20 minutes to 3, the wait was over. Who is it?
Greco.
Oh, come in, comrade. Oh, have the janitor with you?
Inside, quickly.
Comrade Greco. Is he one of us?
The coveralls have fooled you. He's not the hotel janitor. Look more closely.
Huh? Oh, sure. Rawson. You're Grayling Rawson. But
Comrade Rawson, this is Comrade Matt Cvetic.
It's a pleasure. I see you know me.
Who doesn't? You're one of the most important men in the party.
Exactly. Too important to have to go through the ignominy of a trial.
It's your job to see I escape that. I must not stand trial.
They won't get you to trial, Comrade Rawson.
But isn't he on bond?
$50,000 bond. The party will be glad to sacrifice that to save Comrade Rawson from jail.
The FBI will turn the city inside out looking for him.
Let them. He won't be here. That's why you are here, Comrade Cvetic. We are taking Comrade Rawson out of the city. Now.
Out of the city? The minute he shows his face on the street...
Leave the details to me, Comrade. Yes. Fine, it's right on schedule. We'll be right down.
Well?
All set. Let's go. Here, this way. To the service elevator.
It's a great honor to be selected for this mission, Comrade Greco, but why...
Your record shows some intelligence, Comrade. That is why. I could not use the others like Tomashovna. Stupid ones, like sheep. You push, they go. You stop pushing, they stop. No minds, just wives to nag and make problems. And now you can forget your worries, comrade. There is your escape. Perfect, no?
A hearse?
Hearse? I don't like this joke. It's not funny.
No, Comrade Rawson. This is only a precaution against discovery until we're out of the city. The rest of the trip will be different.
The rest?
Yes, didn't I tell you? We are taking Comrade Rawson to New York.
It took us less than 30 seconds to get the red-faced, perspiring Rawson across the freight platform and into the back of the hearse. The commie leader wasn't made any happier at the sight of a long black coffin open for business.
Oh, no, I don't ride with coffins.
You have to. It's all right. It's a lovely coffin. Here, see, the inside is quilted satin. Lay down in it. Try it out.
Lie down? Oh, no, not until I'm a corpse.
Would you rather go to jail?
All right, I'll lie down. And I think I'll take a pill.
Good. Comrade Cvetic, you'll drive. Here's the uniform coat and the cap. Now change quickly.
Yeah.
Now, I will remain in back. If we are stopped, I am the mortician, Frederick Dodds.
Dodds. I remember.
Good. And in this coffin will be the earthly remains of one John Carter being taken to the Green Lawn Cemetery in Rockwood, where the poor thing will be cremated. It
was bizarre, and to Comrade Rawson a little gruesome, but it worked. And with Greco keeping a close eye on me from the back, there was no chance to let anyone know that a very live and wanted body was lying in the coffin. On the way, I was given some instructions. Then, a few miles south of Detroit, Greco directed me to turn into a small and decrepit wayside garage called Mike's Place.
Drive right inside.
All right, Mike, close the doors. Right on time, comrades. Well, I like your choice of help, Comrade Greco. Introduce him.
Later, my lovely Cobra. All right, come out, Comrade Rawson.
Yeah, I'd be most happy to.
This way, please. All of you.
Nerve-wracking, this business of escape. I should take another pill.
Take 2. It's a long way to New York.
Oh, no. If I take too many, they make me violently ill.
Please have seats, comrades. I'm sorry this office hasn't much to offer in the way of comforts.
How long are we going to stay here?
He talks. I just knew he could do something besides drive.
Look out, Comrade Matt.
Oh, don't warn him. Introduce him.
All right, Matt, this is Candy, short for Candice.
Which is short for Rosemary Wilkinson.
Candice fits better. Candy's perfect.
Oh.
Candy is sticky. And that's the way you impress me, comrade.
What?
Score, comrade. Directed. Better forget it, Rosie.
Don't call me Rosie. And Comrade Matt.
Yeah?
Candy can be soft and sweet, but it can also be hard. I don't think you'll like hard candy.
September 17th, 1952, I Was a Communist for the FBI on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The news from 70 years ago today follows these messages.
Attention Walmart shoppers. Now you can order one of the most advanced hearing aids on the market for hundreds, not thousands of dollars. Hearing Assist's most advanced product lineup includes models that use an exclusive app for enhanced control over what you want to hear. It's perfect if you have a smartphone or iPhone to hear everything better. And we have 2 great ways for you to get one. You can call the number at the end of this ad and order directly. Or you can call this same number and we will text you a complete list of Walmart Vision Center locations. We make it easy for you to hear better. Remember, call this number today to order and have a text message instantly sent to your phone to find the Walmart Vision Center near you. Here's that special number.
Call 800-360-0597. 800-360-0597. 800-360-0597. That's 800-360-0597.
Thank you for spending part of your Saturday with us here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. This hour, Dana Andrews and I Was a Communist for the FBI. From Wednesday, September 17th, 1952, in the newspapers of that Wednesday 70 years ago, these were some of the headlines. General Dwight D. Eisenhower wound up the first phase of his Midwest whistle-stop tour yesterday by accusing the Democrat administration of frittering away the peace gained on the battlefields. He told an applauding crowd of 12,000 persons gathered in front of the Minnesota Capitol building in St. Paul that he had found administration fumbling on foreign affairs, the chief concern of the people he met at whistle stops. President Truman told 2,500 delegates to the American Hospital Association yesterday that Dwight D. Eisenhower really wants to go back to the horse and buggy days of medicine. Those his words. And he vigorously denied that government aid to medicine means socialism. Speaking at a luncheon meeting of the American Hospital Association, Truman said the nation stands at the threshold of a new golden age in medicine because of the teamwork between the medical professions and federal and state governments. John L. Lewis made a final progress report to the United Mine Workers Wage Policy Committee yesterday, then girded up for a long and bitter strike to back up his new contract demands on soft coal operators. A walkout at Sunday midnight appeared inevitable as the 100-man committee adjourned indefinitely after meeting with Lewis for 20 minutes. Neither the union nor the operators gave any indication of yielding on their positions. Mrs. Rodney Harmon saw a mouse while visiting a neighbor's home Monday in Richmond, Indiana. She propped up the suction cup on a plumber's handled plunger, put some cheese under it, and waited. The mouse cooperated. It went for the cheese, tripped the prop, trapped itself, and was plunged to death. And in Santa Monica, California, the presidential campaign reached new heights as an unknown person climbed a 100-foot ladder to a city-owned water tank and painted the word Ike in 10-foot letters on both sides. And those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Wednesday, September 17th, 1952. On your radio, I Was a Communist for the FBI, which continues now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Please, when do we leave?
Oh, Mike's bringing up your car now. It'll only be a few minutes, Comrade Rawson.
Call me Grayling, my dear comrade.
Did you check the radio?
Yes, nothing on it. The FBI are keeping it quiet so far.
Probably figure he'll show up soon. Mike knows what to do with the hearse?
Sure. He'll ditch it back in Detroit before daybreak.
If you'll excuse me, I think I'll wash my hands.
Greco, sit down, Cvetic.
No, but all I wanted
Orders. Until Comrade Rawson is safely out of the country, none of us will be alone at any time. The party is taking no chances on this mission.
Yes, but
I repeat, those are orders. Disobey them or even try to disobey them, and it will mean your instant removal.
From September 17th, 1952, I Was a Communist for the FBI on this Saturday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite station.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
800-477-4612. 800-477-4612. 800-477-4612. That's 800-477-4612. Paid for by Want to Sell.
On Sunday's Classic Radio Theater, we'll have an episode of Mystery in the Air, a summer series that starred Peter Lorre. September 18th, 1947, The Black Cat, the classic tale about the man who kills his wife and hides her body behind a brick wall, finding a feline nemesis. That's coming up on Sunday's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. But now the conclusion of I Was a Communist for the FBI, 70 years ago today, September 17th, 1952.
Now back to Dana Andrews, starring as Matt Cvetic in I Was a Communist for the FBI, and the second act of our story.
That's Mike with the car. Wait till he signals the road's empty. That's it. Let's go.
It was a red-hot deal. One of America's biggest commies, arrested 2 weeks before, was jumping his bail. With the help of the party, Grayling Rawson was fleeing the FBI and his trial, and I was right in the middle of it. And I couldn't do a thing to stop it.
So long, Mike. Roll it, comrade.
Oh, are you coming too?
I knew you'd be pleased.
I am pleased, my dear. Your company is most refreshing.
Flatterer. After that coffin, anything would be refreshing.
As a matter of fact, this is my idea, comrade. When the police are seeking a single man, a group can be much less noticeable.
No matter whose idea, the only important thing is that I am not caught again by the FBI. Keep it in mind, Greco. My safety comes above everything else.
Of course. Rosie, turn on the radio. Let's hear the news.
You'll call me that once too often, Greco.
News on the hour every hour, 24 hours a day. Here is your 5 a.m. edition, headlined by a bulletin just released. Grayling Rawson, Communist Party boss indicted last week, disappeared a few hours ago and is suspected of jumping his $50,000 bond. Local authorities believe Rawson may not have left the city, but informed sources reveal the FBI has begun a nationwide search for the missing man, who may be trying to escape the country. On Capitol Hill, hopes have risen high that an agreement may be reached within a short...
They're working too fast. I'd not expected a widespread search so soon. Turn off the next dirt road. We'll circle south to Mansfield. All right, pull up here.
Where are we going?
That big white house with the elms in front. Looks like it's all clear. But you stay in the car with Grayling, Rosie. Matt and I will make sure.
Greco, is this the right house? That sign there says...
Miss Blanche Harris, piano lessons. Yes, I can read.
Yes?
Good morning, madame.
It's Miss.
Miss, of course. I,
Have a child you want me to teach piano? Mighty early to be disturbing.
My little boy's very anxious. He just arrived from Detroit.
Oh. Do you know the answer to 5 times 5?
Of course. 31.
Come in, comrade.
I am Greco. This is Comrade Cvetic, Comrade Harris.
Comrade
Hello,
Harris.
comrade.
You are alone?
Yes, I was just starting breakfast. My first pupil won't arrive for an hour yet. Where is...
Outside, in the car.
We need to stay here for a while until things quiet down.
It's an honor to help Comrade
Please. It is best the name never be mentioned.
I understand. I have to put you up in the attic. It's kind of dirty, I'm afraid. Haven't been much on climbing those stairs since I picked up a touch of...
Oh, it will be fine. Just as long as it keeps us out of FBI hands.
Miss Harris's attic, like Gaul, was divided into 3 parts. One large room, a bath, and a tiny additional room against the eaves. There were cots and blankets and stores of canned goods, a fair supply of debris left by previous tenants, and one window, securely boarded and curtained against showing a light.
Many of our comrades have stayed here while evading the police, but of course, never anyone so important as yourself, comrade.
Thank you. The party won't forget your work.
The men can use this large room.
And I get the broom closet.
Enough.
There's a special radio set yonder. You can pick up Toledo on it. Is there anything else I can get for you?
I'd like to check the papers. I'll run out and
You'll stay here, comrade. None of us will leave this attic for any reason until we leave it together.
Greco was plain enough. As long as he was around, I knew my chances of contacting the FBI were exactly 0. My one bit of cheer was that as long as I was not heard from, the FBI would be able to guess I was in on Rawson's escape and that he had not yet left the country. So they would continue to search. And in this, I was right.
Today, the manhunt for Grayling Rawson goes on undiminished. Everywhere, the authorities are seeking the communist boss who jumped bail and disappeared from Detroit last Friday night. As a public service, we're broadcasting his description again. If you see or have seen such a man, please contact your local police immediately. I repeat, if you see or have seen such a...
Don't they ever give up?
Oh, no, not again.
Comrade Harris must give lessons to every child in Mansfield.
Little monsters. After this is over, I'm going out and strangle everyone I see, just on general principle.
Well, it won't be long. Search or no search, we have to leave here in 2 days to be in New York by the 18th.
The 18th? Why the 18th?
You'll know in time. And stop asking questions. You'll live longer.
Oh, I think I'll take a pill.
It wasn't much, but Rawson had given me an idea on how to get rid of Greco, at least temporarily. I remembered what Rawson had said about 2 of his pills being too much, that they made him ill. So the next day, while Rawson was washing, I stole 4 of the tablets from the gold pill box in his vest. I mashed the tablets into a powder and kept it in a fold of paper, ready. During our last meal before leaving on the 17th, I palmed the folder of powder, waiting my chance to slip it into Greco's soup. Then I realized I'd have to make my own chance.
Without a can opener in this place, we'd starve to death.
At least with that hot plate, we've had warm food that's sun.
Look, is that smoke coming up over there to the floor?
I don't see any smoke.
Oh, I guess I must have been mistaken. It looked like a wisp of smoke curling up there.
You're seeing things, comrade. Well, that's enough for me.
But you didn't finish your soup.
I don't feel like it.
We'll have a long drive tonight. You may need it.
Huh? Perhaps you're right. That's enough. We'll be leaving as soon as it gets dark.
It is time, comrades.
Good. We must be in New York by morning.
Comrade Greco, something wrong? You look pale.
Oh, just a stomachache. I'll be all right.
What happened?
Greco!
Bad food, I knew it. We'll all die.
Oh, nonsense. He just got a stomachache.
Should I get a doctor?
No, doctor. Just let me rest.
We must leave right away. There's no time for you to rest. You must get me away.
I don't think I can make it. Comrade Cvetic.
Yes?
I must trust you. Boat leaving New York tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock.
What boat?
Polish freighter, Ornetta. Arrangements all made. Good luck, comrade.
After Comrade Harris furnished Grayling Rawson with working clothes and a hat, we were on our way. Greco being left behind gave me hope, but I bided my time until we were entering Williamsport, Pennsylvania. It was after 3, and both Rawson and Candy were dozing as I pulled up to an all-night cafe. Then as I reached for the door handle, a small, cold circle touched the back of my neck.
It's a gun, Matt. Greco's gun.
I don't understand, Candy. Why?
I don't trust you.
I was only going to get some...
Orders were for us to stay together. Now, if I were you, Matt, I'd drive on. We made it. There's the Ornetta. You'll be safe before you know it, Grayling.
Yes, I suppose so. Strange. In some way, I hate to leave America.
It has its points.
Well, you'd better stay here. Goodbye, comrades.
I watched Rawson go to the loading foreman, and in a moment the commie was in the line of workers, carrying a box into the freighter's hold through the loading hatch. Whatever I was going to do had to be done fast. At that moment, a burly stevedore brushed by us. I threw a shoulder into him, and he hit the deck. Then he got up, and with a hitch of his dungarees, he started for me, followed by a half-dozen others sensing the brawl.
Come on, Matt. Let's get up.
Doll. I'll take care of your boyfriend.
Peddle your papers, ape man.
Hey, you crumbs. You insult my girl, I'll hand you some knuckles.
You'll hand me some knuckles. Make room, you guys. I don't want his blood to splash on you.
Stop it! Stop it! The police!
Beat it, Candy. Beat it. It was the hard way, but I was free of Candy, who faded fast at the sight of the police. Me, I got a free trip to the station. Once there, however, I was permitted to make a call. It was to the FBI, and I told them where they could pick up Grayling Rawson. 15 minutes later, a visitor entered my cell.
Hello, Matt.
Well, what are you doing here?
I was assigned to handle the... Say, that's a nice mouse. Both of them.
Well, never mind my eyes. Did you get Rawson?
Nope. On at a sail just before you called.
Oh, no.
It's all right. Our patrol boats are intercepting the freighter before she gets past the 3-mile limit. They'll take Rawson off and bring him back to stand trial.
Oh, well, that's better.
Rough go?
Rough enough. And this little deal's going to take some explaining to the party.
Oh, we've covered you on that.
Oh.
Our story to the press is that somebody on the freighter tipped us off.
Thanks. Well, that ought to clear me.
Sure, why not? All you did was get into a fight over an insult to your girl. You'll forgive me if I don't walk out with you. She's a pretty one, Matt. What's her name?
Candy. Hard candy. I'd done my job the best I could, but there was no feeling of satisfaction yet. There wouldn't be, not as long as mechanics named Mike and piano teachers named Harris allow the rottenness of communism to warp them into treachery and treason. It was up to me to live with my enemies until the job was done, which meant I would continue to walk alone. This is Dana Andrews. Too often, the warm security of family and friends can blind us to the threat of subversive elements hard at work trying to destroy our way of life. We must meet that threat with alertness and determination that freedom can and will survive. Join us next week when we bring you another exciting experience of Matt Cvetic, won't you?
From 70 years ago, September 17th, 1952, Dana Andrews, and I was a communist for the FBI here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Your name?
Listen and learn through civil defense. This is Johnny Cash. I'd like all of you to remember that America can withstand enemy attack if we support the emergency plans of our community and learn to help ourselves. Make sure you're prepared. Contact your local civil defense office today.
Learn and live through civil defense. This is Mitzi Gaynor. During wartime, quick, accurate information is vital to the public. Conelrad, radio broadcasts at 6:40 or 12:40, will be your only official means of information. In an attack, tune to 6:40 or 12:40 on your radio.
Ah, yes, those announcements going back years. But the best thing that I can tell you is keep your dial tuned to this radio station. They'll do the best to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. And while you're at it, thank this station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. If you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. All of our shows are available through my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting. You can contact me there. You can also find podcast sites that have our shows available for download. And if you are so inclined, you can buy me a coffee. I don't drink coffee, but we acquire all sorts of great classic radio theater programs to add to our collections here. And in fact, some of the ones that we have just gotten together include Mr. and Mrs. North, Dick Tracy, and Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. You can help at classicradio.stream and the Buy Me a Coffee link. Have a great weekend. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.